Oh, all right. Going live. We're skipping the intro. I forgot to put it up. Got a little distracted. But hey, how's it going? It's David, Scarred Thumb Podcast. Today, we'll be talking about a lot of different things. Halo, Echoes of Wisdom. We'll still be talking about Echoes of Wisdom. We got the new Metaphor Refantasio game, Alarmo. Pokemon got hacked. Yeah, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of fun stuff. Making fun of Tomb Raider. That sounds, that'll be fun. Hey, good morning, Jack. Good to see you. But let's start off. We're going to talk about Echoes of Wisdom and why I think it's more Disney than Disney. So, Echoes of Wisdom was a delight just from start to finish. I've actually beaten the game. Just awesome game. Really enjoyed it. Again, like I said, I want to say it's a delight because that's what it is. It's not, exceptionally hard. A lot like a lot of Nintendo games. It decent challenge, some fun stories, but you're solving puzzles. You're not like really heavy into like sweaty combat. I thought the last boss did provide a bit of a challenge, especially since I didn't have all of the items. You almost just make it a little too easy if you get all the damage reduction items they can possibly get. But I still had a decent amount of hearts, so you can even like challenge yourself if you really wanted to, by getting less things or wearing different items. That'd be a way to do it. But like I said, it's just just a really well made, well crafted, not super challenging, but still challenging enough to be engaging. Game with a really nice story. That's where the thought occurred to me when I was playing. Like this reminds me more of Disney than Disney games here. I guess maybe I should play this video underneath. I grew up with movies like Aladdin, A Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. These are like classic stories that have been passed down through generations. They involved men and women. There's a masculine and a feminine energy. And they eventually sort of find harmony together, and the evil is destroyed. So it's sometimes either before or after. Echo's Wisdom doesn't have that romantic aspect to it, really, which is a little disappointing, but it's still really good. It still, has a strong feminine energy with Zelda. You have, a masculine energy. Link is treated as a hero. Zelda herself is a real princess. If you look, I don't know if I have it here. I wanted to show, let's see. Was it here or here? Where they have, she gets the cloak. This is where she gets the cloak. But, she's treated like a princess. She's loved by all the people of Hyrule. They do a really good job of establishing this, that all the people love her. She's kind of like a symbol for Hyrule. And when you look at some places like, like Frozen, like Elsa, it was like one of the only like white blonde-haired princesses that have been around in recent years, and also insanely popular. I don't think that's I don't think that's a coincidence, or isn't a coincidence. I think it's very much so the fact that people want white princesses still, despite the fact that they won't give it to them. But that aside, Elsa's, she needs to escape, the expectations of her people. They're holding her back. She wants to be emotional. She wants to let it go of all the stuff that's holding her down. And then eventually she comes back and she does become the sort of queen of her kingdom. But in a lot of ways, it's making it her own. And this, it's very different. It's Zelda is maintaining her kingdom. She's protecting tradition. She's doing her duty She's accepting her duty as a princess and protecting her kingdom, and that's why she goes out on her adventure to save the people that care about her, that love her, because she is their princess. She's actually accepting her role. And then you have like modern Disney, you have like Moana, where she has to defy her father's wishes, and she supposedly restores their true origin as wayfaring people. But it involves breaking the sort of traditions of the men that came before her. And so there's very much some of that defying tradition in that too. But it wasn't always that way. I mean, you look at these classic things where it's like, and then you got classic Beauty and the Beast here. It's about a woman. It's very much heavy on romance. Where she likes the Beast in a way. Now it's a classic. Jordan Peterson called this the feminine hero's journey, is the sort of beautiful woman domesticating in a way the beast, taking a wild beast and then giving him a place in society, which I think actually is probably a pretty accurate kind of tale, where she takes the edge off, someone that has just raw strength and power, and just takes the edge off and helps and makes him a productive member of society. As cucked as that seems nowadays, considering how society is so anti-male. And then of course you got Aladdin, which is he's dead, but guy Diamond in the Rough. This actually focuses more on Aladdin, an actual man who becomes a prince. The Diamond in the Rough here. He's dead too, Iago. Sad. But you have that again, princess and the street urchin. That's all classic stuff. But I mean, now you have Mirabel. Here's a fat, unmarried cat lady as the star of Encanto. Which, I mean, these modern tales are still well done as far as they got nice music, good animation, but overall, I don't think they inspire the same way that the classic tales did, because I mean, ultimately,
I gave you the special since you're the only Madrigal kid with no gift. I call it the not special since you have no gift.
Have no gift.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Wow, what a beautiful woman. The fattest fat princess, fat Mexican Disney princess. That's exactly what we needed. Exactly. And then, again, her whole thing is oh man, grandparents. Well, I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea. Is your grandparents ruin the lives of younger people with their ridiculous expectations, which is a common theme in America today, maybe overall around the world. So that's something. But the fact that she's just special because she is a lot of the. It's not that she has any particular talent or a gift. She just listens, I guess, and she has no romantic aspirations. There's no masculine energy in this at all to play off of, because it's not about men. It's all about her. It's all about women. And then this, for Disney, or for, I say, Echoes of Wisdom, it's very different. You still have that masculine energy. Link is still considered a hero. You have, stuff like this where her father is still a caretaker. He still is, sort of a strong leader. And then you have, scenes like this where the dark rifts are trying to overtake them, and he throws her out of the way. That he's captured by it. Zelda has to save him. She has to save her father. Very very dramatic thing. But the people that make these Disney movies. Overall, hey, good morning, X-Runner. The real Bob Newman, good to see you. Well, when you look at modern Disney, people making these movies hate society. You know, it's racist, it's misogynist, it's exploitive. Give me a second, let me take a drink. Clear my throat. Jesus. All right. The people making Disney movies hate society. You know, it's racist, misogynist, exploitive. They bought into a bunch of communist garbage so that anything that glorifies traditional society, it can't be shown. It's about defying them. You know, classic tales don't have any place. They're really just tools of oppression. You know, falling in love with a guy is just, you know, it's exploitive. Why is it Belle opening up a library, owning her own business, you know, spending 60 hours a week working to on her financial freedom? That would be way better than falling in love with a prince, right? Gaston, oh no. Look at that guy. What an evil man. So, you know, this is how you get Lightyear. And Lightyear is just absolute. What an absolute. Oh, I can't play it good. That's an absolute mess. This is one of the few films that have been made recently by like Disney Animation that stars a male lead. I mean, if you're not including stuff that's already been made, like, oh, it's the fourth Toy Story with you know, Woody Allen and or not Woody Allen, what's it name? Tom Hanks and Tim Allen as Woody and Buzz. So Lightyear, again, it has a male lead, but what's the villain of the story? It's male ego. Only by accepting the help of you know, this young black woman who was born from a lesbian couple and these like two other, you know, this effeminate man and an old lady. That's his team that's gonna help him. He would be evil if he didn't find those people and, you know, get rid of that sort of male toxic masculinity. So this is an actual quote from the director of Lightyear. So having him find himself felt like the most thematically interesting. Oh, interesting, really. Because there's a toxic masculinity aspect of being unwilling to ask for help. Yeah, it's toxic masculinity. That's the real villain of Lightyear here. Well, you know, with starring Buzz Lightyear, who's supposed to be a hero, but, you know, toxic masculinity. The real enemy of the male hero is himself, the evil masculinity inside him, and to be focused on only solving problems by yourself. That we felt that he had to become a villain in the beginning, and had he not met Izzy and the others in the second act, this is who he would become. So if he didn't meet a black woman, if he didn't listen to the plight of people of color, old women, men of color that are effeminate and gay, this is who the white man Buzz would. White man would have become evil. Is the underlying theme. He probably would have voted Republican if he didn't meet those black people and listen to them and accepted their help in destroying his society. So this is the thing. It's the hatred of society in white men that runs underneath all of this newer art. And this is why it doesn't inspire the way these classic tales do, because they don't have that underlying garbage beneath it. It's about, you know, it's just a classic story about good conquering evil, about, you know, Aladdin, his bravery. You know, he might not be he wasn't born rich, but he has, you know, qualities, heroic qualities that, you know, he doesn't need to meet black women to unlock. He just has them underneath it, and in the face of adversity, he still fights with bravery and cunning. He has that smartness to him. You know, Beauty and the Beast. You know, it's about, you know, a person that seems very harsh on the outside. You know, he's been scorned. He was scorned and, you know, cursed because of his greed and arrogance by a witch, and then he sort of like learns to soften up and learns, you know, some empathy, and he's able to become, you know, a whole person through the love of a beautiful woman through, you know, that kindness, a woman that shows him kindness, and in spite of him, you know, in spite of his flaws. Those are things that that inspire generations, not the fact that you have toxic masculinity underneath, and you need old grandma, the badass old lady, will help you become a better person. Yeah, it's a really good tale. But thankfully, Japanese creatives aren't poisoned with the hatred for peoples and traditions. They, you know, they could still put out a charming tale that sort of glorifies men and women. They could still, you know, they still have men and women in roles that they're traditionally meant for. They don't. They could have just. They can't. They could have made it so like Link is just. You know, he's just captured, but they wanted to respect, you know, what the history and tradition of Link is. You know, he's supposed to be the hero. She's the priestess. And together is how they defeat evil. You know, not as, you know, Zelda doing it all on her own. And so they have, you know, you have this bright, colorful world, and it does, you know, make you, playing a game like this makes me nostalgic for those old days when things were bright and colorful, when they were, you know, sort of hopeful tales that weren't infected with by these, you know, creatives that have like sort of this sort of communist feminist poison running underneath them. And it's, you know, sadly, I think Western studios are going to continue doing it because, I mean, they could, some of them can still make money. Inside Out did very well. Buzz Lightyear flopped like crazy, but you know, they're still making money with these things. A lot of these animated stuff still does pretty well, even in spite of the fact that their messages overall are very weak and not really inspiring. But at least in the meantime, I have these Japanese games. There's still things like Echoes of Wisdom with, you know, the beautiful, beautiful animation, beautiful artwork, and music and all this stuff. I love the little pose. All their little poses are very cute. They made sure, I think animation, honestly, graphics are overrated nowadays. It's really animation that makes something, that makes a game special nowadays. Polygon count isn't going to save you. It's been done to death. You know, the graphics are super great, but that might be a good segue as we wrap this up. Echoes, just fantastic game. It's a shame that we don't get anything like this in the West, but I don't think we will, really. And maybe in like some small niches, you know, something might slip through, but maybe you see where, you know, the Joker, a big memes this week, that Joker getting raped in prison. You know, that's what happens when you have I'm just always Joker getting raped in prison here. So the hit sequel to the popular incel movie is we got to rape the main character. That way guys won't like him anymore. Yeah, so, but we still got this. We still got, Nintendo is still making games, good games that people enjoy. It's one of the downsides of doing it in the morning is I'm always congested when I wake up. It's hard. But speaking of graphics and shitty ideas, let's talk about Halo: A New Dawn. Ooh, what could this be? What could this be? I'm gonna show it to you. To find out. So let's get into this. Halo's cooking up something. What could it be?
Chris Matthews, take one. Mark.
This is Casey Wu, take one. Mark.
I was told that I can just be my authentic self, Chris.
Yeah, you
For 6 years, I don't want to.
I mean, already the video's starting out. No gameplay, just people. So this is
Be in front of a camera.
immediately. It looks like they're blowing smoke up their ass.
There's so much to do and so much fun to be had when you play Halo that I feel like I never run out.
So this is the first person they introduce. He's a community manager. What the fuck does a community manager do? Nothing against John Junizek here, senior community manager, but he has no importance as far as making a video game. He doesn't make any important decisions. He doesn't build anything in this game as far as like graphics or programming. Yeah, this is the first person they show.
Out of things to do.
I love.
And of course, the second person they show, a fat black woman with colored hair. And of course, she has a rainbow flag. Let's go on the profile page. People are freaking out about this lady because why not? I mean, she's the chief of staff. Hashtag hiring. Oh, and a giant rainbow flag on her backdrop of her profile pic. I wonder if it's hard for straight white men to get hired at 343 or now, as it's now being called, Halo Studios. This is always a great look. This is the second person they wanted to show off. Is this fat black woman that I guess is in charge of hiring? Again, doesn't program, doesn't do any graphics. Just got to show off your DEI.
Hit stories that take place across lots of different worlds, have lots of different meaningful characters.
Wow. That's
what
great.
made Halo successful at the beginning? What is the legacy of Halo?
And of course, the third person they show off is another woman. Why not? There are so many women here at Halo Studios. Surely they're going to make a great game. And
What's the soul that we want to bring forward?
It's always so sad to see a woman talking about the soul of Halo. Now, how can a woman even understand what it's like to fight in a war or like the desire to fight? Halos the guys are called Spartans. Like Master Chief is called a Spartan. You think a woman can understand what a Spartan spirit is? A modern woman? Do they have any idea what the soul of like violence and combat is? Because it's ingrained in men. It is not ingrained.
And what's the craft of making Halo games? And how do we set our
just talk about like it's fucking
studio
astrology.
best to go deliver on that?
We knew we had to make a change.
Fourth person's another fat woman. She has zero chin. Wow.
In order to take us into the future.
When I first heard about Halo moving to Unreal Engine, my first thought was this is going to be a really hard sequel.
There's a guy that's not even from the studio. It's the guy from the director UE licensing Epic Games.
to keep.
I think fans
to
are
keep.
going to be excited about the future
They're
of
gonna be
Halo because
excited.
of the possibilities that are afforded us by using Unreal.
Before, we really had to split our focus in thinking about building an engine, supporting it, being really kind of a tech company and a studio at the same time.
Tech
Since
company
we've made
and
the change
Microsoft being a tech company and
to shift to UE, we can bring Halo forward in ways that people have never seen before while still being true to what Halo is.
they always talk about the soul of Halo. What Halo is, guys, I'm going to let you in a spoiler. They're never going to tell you what the soul of Halo is or what Halo's about. It's just some sort of ambiguous reference to, hey, good morning, Deborah. Good morning, X-Rider. Good to see you. It's just, oh, wait, you've already been here. It's just the ambiguous soul of Halo.
The Foundry project was
Guys,
an
don't
effort
worry. We're
to show
gonna.
ourselves
It's like, guys, don't worry. We're not gonna ruin Halo.
how far
I
we
swear.
can push things using Unreal 5.
New studio art director Chris came to me and said, hey, I have this crazy idea.
He
Crazy.
said, hey, there's this thing called Project Foundry that I want to do. Let's make it happen.
Foundry specifically is based around the same concept of the Foundry in Halo lore. It's the place
Do
where
you
Halo
remember the
rings
Foundry,
war.
guys? Halo. Whoa. Look at this crazy music.
It's not a game,
Graphics.
it's a research project for our studio so we can prepare ourselves for the next steps of making Halo games.
Wow. You got the shot with the Halo beacon.
Games.
I'm not exactly an expert in Halo lore here, but let me show this here so people can see why they're talking about it. I think it makes a nice backdrop. So this is Will Waltz. I guess he used to work for 343 Studios. I worked for them as a top-performing industry animator for 13 years. Wow, long time. I do not recommend working at 343 Halo Studios. It's like Comcast calling themselves Xfinity and hoping nobody notices. Steer clear and safe out of there. They are not worth it. Feel free to PM. To be clear, employees have had some of the industry's finest because we all have fond memories of Halo, and the Microsoft pay is nice. But their leadership is cancer, Pierre especially. You'll hate how creative limiting they are. I have no doubt that though the execs finally gave in to switching to Unreal, they will find a way to organizationally make it unfun to work there. And he goes on to say, CE played a huge part of the decision to go towards games as an animator for me. Well, that in CS 1.3, I don't know what those mean. Breaks my heart to imagine telling the studio loudly, almost daily, how to succeed for 13 years. 7 of them spent educating a clueless exec team with a purely corporate publishing background and no real hands-on coding or art, and in some cases, gaming experience. That's pretty damning, but damn, that's exactly how games work nowadays. How to actually make something and explaining to them over and over why using Unreal for the next game, Infinite, would be far better for them to switch now that they decided the game should be vastly dynamic and open world. The last 5 years at 343 for me were spent, aside from animating duties, hiring UX designers, educating an entire studio on why a good user experience is important for artists to have fun while they make their best work. Remember explaining that they'd likely save billions of dollars if they switched. Imagine all of that, then to have the studio lay you all off without a thank you, without even an acknowledgement for 13 years of work. Just an email shows up one day from Microsoft HR. Then a year later, they say they have a great idea. They're switching to Unreal. That's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Like, hey, guys. And then, of course, it's just so typical of corporate America. We're like, oh, wait, this guy tells you for like 5 years about how you should do this. And then you lay him off like, hey, I got a great idea. Let's switch to Unreal. And then just pat yourself on the back all over the place. Guys, we're so smart. We came up with this idea. And then it's just a bunch of like, oh, here's Halo.
Was a graphic showcase.
And this is the saddest part of the whole video, and just shows how awful, or how hopeless that this might be.
Was a graphic showcase. The original Halo franchise was a graphic showcase. It was best in class. That's what Halo was when it first was released, and that's what Halo needs to be again.
Yeah, Halo was a graphic showcase. It was very impressive when they first came out with it. Xbox was kind of like the American muscle car. It's you got a field of Japanese consoles, and all of a sudden here comes this big, loud, powerful American console into the fray. But these conditions aren't there anymore. Graphics have really moved on from the days when like the difference between PlayStation and PS2 was insane. Now that doesn't happen anymore. PS4 to PS5 is you can kind of notice it if you look real close, but if the image isn't high res enough, you probably can't see a difference at all. And then look at some of the most popular ongoing franchises in gaming right now. You've got Fortnite, Valorant, Roblox, Minecraft, Overwatch. These are stylized games. They're not super high fidelity graphical showcase. Counter-Strike isn't concerned with graphics. It's about high skill gameplay. This has to be like the most ill-informed way to set yourself apart is graphics. I mean, half their user base is probably going to be PC, where they can't even take advantage of these type of graphics. I mean, I guess it looks kind of nice. I mean, look at this. Look at the reflection off Master Chief. Whoa.
We took the entire creative team.
Look, this thing reminds me, like, look at this shot reminds me of Pikmin some ways, where they're just like sitting on the rock. Oh, let me scrub back a little bit. Like they're sitting on this giant rock here. You got this idyllic foliage, and it makes the characters look like almost like toy soldiers right here. And this is some of my issue with the Unreal Engine is there's something about it that just looks soulless. I don't know what it is. I mean, like, look at this. Here's a screenshot from, say, Sonic Frontiers. Like, how are you going to really differentiate yourself from this kind of stuff? And, like, Power World was the same way. When I look at it, it's just, it looks the same to me. I mean, I'm sure this is super much better, a lot more detailed than, say, like a Sonic Frontiers. But when you look at it, you kind of see the same thing. Like, oh, it's a really beautiful, outdoor area. Look at all this grass, and look at all the little plants and weeds that don't have anything to do with gameplay. You probably can't interact or destroy them at all. Maybe you'll be able to, but it doesn't add to anything. It just looks good, essentially. And I mean, the game does look, there is beautiful in a way, but like I said, it's almost like AI. It's just beauty for the sake of it. It's not, Halo isn't a hiking simulator. So it's, let's move on.
We took the entire creative team and we ideated on 3 locations, something old, something new, and something
borrowed and something blue. They're getting married.
Really alien.
We had the Pacific Northwest, which is sort of traditional.
Again, this looks beautiful.
We were trying to shove.
There's sort of Halo, and the thing with Halo is, like, it was this environment was sort of juxtaposed. It's just beautiful, idyllic, like almost like a paradise. But underneath this environment is a weapon of mass destruction. So it's sort of like it's like one of those classic stories where you go in and you look at this. You go in and look at this, and it's like, oh, wow, this is beautiful. It's like amazing. Like, look how beautiful this Halo looks. It's a paradise. And then you slowly realize, oh my God, this is, a weapon capable of destroying galaxies or universes. I don't know. No, it's like almost made to like wipe out. I think it was made to like wipe out all life on the planet, essentially, if I'm remembering my Halo lore correctly. I haven't read the books, guys. Sorry, but this
much
is
foliage in there.
That's you can only do that like once, though. Once you know that that's a secret weapon, it doesn't hit the same.
As humanly possible to make it
really
feel
nice.
like you're on a hike in
it's like a hike. Is a Halo about hiking?
Cascades.
The Coldlands, which was the second biome that we took on, it was more of a technical showcase.
Exactly. Nothing makes for great gameplay like a technical showcase.
Shaders, we could play with deformable.
This whole thing feels like an ad for the Unreal Engine.
Unreal affords us more opportunity.
I hope they're paying.
I
hope they're paying them.
On the surface, it might just look all like snow, but how many layers of things combine to really give that winter look?
And then our third biome was the Blightlands, which is any land.
I mean, this actually looks different, like definitively Halo. Perhaps, so it does kind of remind me of Helldivers 2. And Helldivers 2 is actually doing, interesting stuff.
That's been completely taken over by the flood.
I wanted to give our team the opportunity to really express an alien world, a really alien world.
In a way, it's like the fact that Halo really set the standard for a console first-person shooter. It almost works against it now because every game kind of has a bit of the Halo DNA to it. So it becomes increasingly hard for them to differentiate themselves from, what a first-person shooter is. I mean, you look at what Halo was
taking some
in the first place is it was one of the first games, maybe the first. I don't remember exactly. I don't have the exact game list of games here, but it was one of the first and really the one that popularized dual analog stick controls for a console first-person shooter, and that became the standard for consoles. It had a co-op campaign, like where you could sit with your friend on a couch and do the campaign together. That was amazing. You had the couch PvP and the ability to link up consoles with each other. That just it made it an absolute smash hit around my college campus, and I assume a lot of college campuses along the way. This was before in consoles, internet PvP was not a big thing. So this is one of the first games that did all this. Halo was a first for a lot of different things. And that's really what set it apart. I loved GoldenEye, but Halo is really what made console first-person shooters a thing in the United States. And first-person shooters continue to be like one of the most popular genres in the U.S. Over the history of the U.S., with Modern Warfare and all that other stuff. So now, console first-person shooters, they've been done to death. It's one of the most, like I said, one of the most popular genres in the U.S. You have, Battlefield, Call of Duty, you name it. People have put it out between for first-person shooters. So being able to set yourself apart is extremely difficult. And Halo's kind of just done its thing for the past, who knows, how long has it been? 20 years? I remember playing it in college, so it's got to be over 20 years old now. I feel freaking old saying it, but now it's like console first-person shooters just don't seem like a thing anymore. It's almost like merging. Everything is cross-play. Everything's kind of merging with PC games. It just doesn't stand out. Halo isn't the flagship of Xbox anymore. Hell, Xbox isn't the flagship of Microsoft anymore, because now it seems like they're shifting over to their PC games, really, because they figure like, hey, we actually kind of own this market. Since everything has to use Windows, we're not getting our asses beat by Switch and PlayStation, so let's move on. I mean, just doesn't have
talent,
fill me with a lot of hope.
And your professional ambitions in that place.
We're looking for designers, we're looking for artists.
And this is so funny. They're looking for designers, they're looking for artists. They laid off 35 people last year. 95 people last year. Let me see if I have this. 343 Studios confirms switching to Unreal Engine. It said, oh no, that wasn't it. Oh yeah, aforementioned report also claimed at least 95 staff have been laid off. There had been a conflict between studios who wanted to jump to Unreal and those happy with Slipspace, and now they're switching over. So we need design. Hey, we just fired a bunch of senior staff. So now we need to hire new guys on to make up for it.
Engineers.
It feels like a new beginning.
Engineers. It's a new beginning. We fired a bunch of people that were paying too much. So let's get some cheap workers in here.
Rare.
Oh, can we get some Indians?
And I think we arrived now at a point where you see the beginnings of people to start to believe in the process.
Start to believe in the process. Just believe. So that's Halo. It's nothing, not exactly inspiring, if you ask me. Halo continues to be whatever. I like this. Halo in Unreal Engine, exactly how my brain remembers the original game looking when I first played it as a kid. Sure thing. Sure thing, pal. I like someone threw Mario in the Unreal Engine and said, that's exactly how my brain remembers Mario as a kid. I don't recall it looking like this. I played it. Well, I didn't play it as a kid. I played it as an adult. So Xbox undefeated when it comes to fanboys, really. And this is Karutis Rambo. Here, from Sweet Baby Ink Detected. This little clip says so much about Halo.
One of the keys to the success of the story is we didn't pump a lot of time into figuring out who the Master Chief was and why he was a ghost in the shell. We thought he is a husk. He's a big green suit of armor that you move around.
Master Chief is human. He's not a machine. He's not a set of armor with a big weapon. He's a human with resilience.
Good God. Get women away from video games, for the love of God. It's the first guy nails it. One of the keys to the success of the story.
Is we didn't pump a lot of time.
He's a husk.
Figuring out who the Master Chief was and why he was a ghost in the shell. We thought he is a husk. He's a big green suit of armor that you move around.
Yes, that's exactly. This guy understands what video games are. He's a husk. He's a faceless protagonist. Faceless, voiceless protagonist. He moves around. He's you. He's the player. You just, I don't know why I put these. I like the buff Master Chief, but this is what a character should be for a video game, or it can be successful for a video game. You can't do that with any other story, with like a book or a movie. You can't necessarily do that, but for a video game, it's perfect. He just goes around, you kill the Covenant with it. You know, you smash Covenant, you know, little grunt's face in with the butt of your rifle. You don't need him to feel. You don't need him to have a tragic backstory. You just need to feel like a badass while you're killing stuff in this game world. It's about really Halo. What set Halo apart, especially, was these giant epic battle scenes where you're flying in a Warthog and you have a bunch of people coming out, a bunch of your allies, Marines coming down fighting with you as giant explosions from these Covenant tanks and these ghosts and wraiths. Covenant ghosts and wraiths, fly around the battlefield and you're in the middle of it, like shooting people, blowing stuff up. Epic battle scenes, with that great score that comes out like ba 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 ba. And that is what really made Halo. Those moments that stick out, you remember. 20 years later, I can still remember, coming out. You have that little like violin, really soft. And it's like and then all of a sudden, like boom, it pops, and then the giant symphony just pops, and like really, like I don't know, the cellos were like ba 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 ba, like super. They just hit, and that's when the fight is really like crescendoed at its peak.
You move around.
Master Chief is
And then Master Chief is human.
human. He's not a machine.
He's not a machine.
He's not a set of armor with a big weapon. He's a human.
This is so gay. So gay. I hate women. I hate women as a collective. Why are they doing this to Master Chief? This ruins his character.
Human with resilience.
Human with resilience. God almighty. This is the worst thing ever. He's a suit of armor. He's a giant machine of war. This is what you want to be. You don't want to be a human with, feelings and shit. God. Get them away from him. Stay away from Master Chief, lady. Please. This isn't the only thing you'll see women ruin in this episode, guys. It's still coming. Sorry, Deborah. We're not talking about you. You're different. Good Lord. Well, let's move on from Halo. We've had enough of this. He's a human. Let's move on to this. I can't pronounce this game. Hold on, let me check what it's called. Metaphor Refantazio. This is a very popular new game from Atlas, also known as Fatless. But let's take a look at some of these. Some of this writing here. You cannot pretend at diversity without acknowledging individual differences. Some will be judged as strong, while others marked as weak. They were attacked and forced to flee their homes. You would still hold them responsible for their lack of means? Like, where have I heard that kind of talk before? Those poor migrants. Those poor refugees. Equal competition doesn't mean equal footing. Their aims of freedom and balance could spell doom for the striving weak. Oh, no. Activist woman. Oh, no. People like you who see injustice and actually try to do something about it. This world will be a better place with more people like that. Oh, good gosh. Let's see. The capital, it's incredible. Look at all the different tribes. You've never seen any kind of diversity out in the countryside. Now that it's not that it's very balanced, I clearly see more Clemmers and Rustantes than anyone else. Huh. There's a lot of understanding different cultures and point of views might improve my tolerance. Is a gameplay mechanic in this? Oh, boy. Diversity, and this is the advertising. This is from Learning the Law. Their diversity is their strength. Travel through the world with party members. Galicia, Stoke, Hulkenberg. Diversity is their strength, guys. Actions that increase inclusiveness in June. Inclusiveness is a mechanic. Hey, what's up, New? Good to see you. Good to see you. Inclusiveness. Oh, boy. Inclusiveness +3. I need to improve my inclusiveness. I can get +4 by this. Deliver medicine to pagan parents and children. Okay. You know it's bad when Kotaku and Polygon enjoy your game. Something's going on. That's the game creator Yuko Taro from Nier Automata saying that shared high praise. Hashino really knows his stuff. He believes that games are essential to making the world a better place. What better place are you trying to make the world? With your metaphor refantasio here. Fantasy story about tribalism and racial tension. That's exactly what I want. Deposing a power-hungry leader about winning an election. Personal growth and striking interpretation bonds to the core to both the games and narrative mechanics. And they love the fact that there's really not a lot of romantic elements to this, because I know that makes gay people feel bad. And this is somehow, why is the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy is the evil person here? And then the good person is, of course, your brown skin guy here, and right in the back here, slightly brown skinned, heterochroma type of guy. Interesting symbolism there. I don't know what Hashino is trying to say. I want games that I make will be able to push people to exceed those limitations, he said. I really seem to like it. Is Persona. Kotaku's calling it ReFantasio is Persona without all the ugly baggage. Persona games tout progressive ideals while pushing regressive stigmas, but not metaphor. Oh, that's really good. Really good. It's touted progressive ideals like accepting your true self and taking down corrupt systems. It always found a way to attack people it should be advocating for. I was concerned Metaphor ReFantasio, the new fantasy RPG about high-stakes elections, would fall in the same trap. I'm happy to report that it doesn't and actually goes out of its way to subvert those tropes its predecessors fed into. Wow. That's Kotaku. Kenneth Shepard really likes it. That's great. That's great. It doesn't have that messy trans storylines or stuff about gay men as predators. Yeah, gay men never prey on people. P. Diddy didn't happen. P. Diddy didn't happen at all. There's no gay producers preying on young men in Hollywood. That doesn't happen. Poor to have men, although a teenage girl suffered sexual abuse at the hands of a teacher, only to have the game repeatedly have men ogle her. Oh no. Persona. I mean, just overall, it just is surprisingly, and then of course Rolling Stone here, is a surprisingly political and very timely JRPG. Wow. Blends storytelling with political commentary while evolving Atlas' familiar social and combat mechanics in important ways. All too frequently. It's a point in those at a particularly tumultuous point in modern politics, making it one of the timeliest video games ever. Because it's killing, fighting that evil blonde-haired guy is just like fighting Trump. I swear, guys, that's what it's about. It's about, he's some demigods trying to take over, just like Trump is, guys. But yeah, it's this game looks, I'm sure it's well made, since Atlas and Persona games are usually very well made. But it's pretty funny to see how much journalists enjoy it. It leads me to believe that I would not enjoy the story if all these liberal journalists enjoy it as well. We'll move on. We'll move on from this. Forbes, Concord may be coming back to life after all. And actually, this doesn't surprise me in the least. When you think that they have $400 million put into this game, why wouldn't they try at least to get some of their money back, unless they can put it as a tax write-off? But some people are pointing out that the Steam version has continually been updated, which makes them think that they might be trying to bring it back. Maybe as, free to play. I don't know, but I mean, the simple fact is there's no way this is going to be successful unless you completely redesign the characters. But, they did the voice motion capture. They hired a bunch of trans people for like motion capture for these characters. They look hideous. Character designs are completely sexless. They have no sex appeal whatsoever. But yeah, there's no way this is coming back and going to be successful. Their best hope is to release it, free to play, and maybe some people will, because of all the attention, play it or try it. That's the only thing they could do, and like somehow, sell people some skins. There's no way this game is going to do anything. It's impossible. Unless they'd have to completely scrap all the characters, redesign them, hire new actors to do the sort of voice work and the motion capture if they wanted to do that. Who knows? But it may be coming back. They do have a lot of money already put into it. So I still could see them trying to make it happen and not giving up to it. But man, they should not. Sony should not. But Sony has some successful stories here, and this is kind of cool. Astrobot has sold every 3D platformer in the last decade except Mario. So Astrobot is proving a huge success in the world of 3D platformers. It's a much loved fan favorite. Numbers are speaking for themselves. So they ended up selling Crash Bandicoot, Sonic Frontiers, Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. Not huge, not really a big competition, to be honest. But it hasn't outsold Mario, hasn't outsold Super Mario Brothers Wonder, or 3D World. But it is actually really good to see it do well, because I noticed a lot of like physical, there was something, I think it was physical sales or pre-orders, was not very strong for Astrobot. But at least they did a good job. It's good to see that it's sold, because this is sort of like a classic 3D platformer. It's very much fan service for PlayStation, but it's good to see that it's like a simple game with simple platforming mechanics do well, instead of these giant like story driven. We got to have actors in it. We got to have motion capture, face capture, like technology for do a bunch of like stories and cinematics. Just a simple gameplay platformer doing well is good. It's good for the industry. It's good for Sony. Hopefully, it's something that will continue. It's like a new direction that they can go and renew their love for platforming. I want to see it make a comeback. Let's move on to Nintendo. They had a big announcement. Guys, check this out.
This is Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo, an interactive alarm clock that's out of the ordinary.
Alarmo.
Let's see what it's like to wake up with Alarmo.
All right, wake me up, Alarmo.
Oh, do you hear that? The alarm
Yes,
is
I have
going off.
ears.
But Alarmo doesn't just play music to start your day.
It doesn't? Coins?
That's right. It responds to your body's movement with game sounds.
Oh no.
Like here,
as
with
I
the
struggle
sound of
to wake
coins from
up
Super Mario
and
Odyssey.
starting another despair-driven day. Alarm, no, play coins for me.
Or here,
That Splatoon sound.
with the sound of ink splats from Splatoon 3.
Whoa.
And here, from The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
The music combines with sound effects created by your movement, so you can start the day feeling like you're in the Kingdom of Hyrule.
Nice. I like to start my day in the Kingdom of Hyrule.
And when you get out of bed,
Get out. What happened? suspense.
Oh! A fanfare plays and the alarm comes to an
Yay,
end.
congratulations you for getting out of bed. Your first task of the day is completed.
You see, Alarmo detects movement with its motion
It can
sensor.
detect movement with the motion sensor. Plays,
And
coin
responds to your
sounds.
actions with sounds. When you get out of bed, Alarmo stops automatically without you needing to touch it.
Yay.
Keep in mind, though,
Uh-oh.
the alarm will get more intense the longer
Bowser
it takes for you
shows
to
up
get up.
if you don't
So,
get out of your bed.
rise and shine.
Whoa, after 20 minutes, you're going to be late if you spend 20 minutes trying to get out of bed.
You can set an alarm inspired by 5 games.
Pikmin.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Wow.
Pikmin 4. Splatoon 3.
We Fit It.
Ring
Fit
Fit Adventure.
Uh-oh. I knew these guys would show up.
And The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. I love, that's my favorite part. Wake up, Link. This is how you need to be rising
The
out of
Legend
bed.
of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Wake up, Link.
Wake up, Link. Wake up.
Each game features 7 alarm varieties, known as scenes. And they all have their own combination of music and sounds.
Ooh, New Donk City.
And when you connect to the internet, you can get more alarms as free updates as they become available.
Connected to the internet so it can watch it.
Besides the alarm function, Alarmo
Actually,
is
I like
packed
this.
with features to support you throughout the day, such as sleepy sounds,
Sleepy
which play
sound.
when you get into bed and help you wind down.
I kind of like this idea of having the Pikmin sounds play as I go to bed.
Records, which keep a log of your sleep and movement
So this actually does a little bit.
while in
A little
bed.
bit of stuff that is unique.
And Hourly Chime, which features
Hourly
various
Chime,
Nintendo
ooh.
characters signaling the top of the hour. Add some play to
Alarmo.
the start of your day. Alarmo. For a limited time, Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo is only available for purchase online by paid Nintendo Switch Online members in the US and Canada.
Guys, how much do you think?
Starting today.
And if you already know, don't say. But how much do you think this costs? How much do you think Alarmo costs? Can we get some guesses in the chat? I think my latency is a little bit high, so it might take a little while. But can we get some guesses in the chat? How much Alarmo costs? What would you pay for Alarmo? $100, $50, $200, $25? What would you pay? $200? Nuke's Deborah's guessing 50. Nuke's guessing 200. Let's see. I won't keep you in suspense very long. Ooh, it'll cost you $99.99. 100 smackers for the Alarmo. $3.50. $3.50. Is that what it is, Jack? Guys, $250. Oh yeah, $100 for Alarmo here. Ridiculous price, but this will set you back quite a bit. I guess the motion sensor isn't cheap for an alarm clock. That seems a little bit too much, but I guess, maybe like big Nintendo fans would pay that much for it. But I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Then I looked at the price and I'm like, hell no. There is no effing way I'm paying this much for an alarm clock. Maybe I can get it cheap, secondhand market. But There's no way I'm buying $100 for this. So people were ragging on this quite a bit. The concept is interesting. Quick link, yeah. No swallowing all the hydro quick. Wake up with your $100 alarm clock. Hey, you got a smartphone. You've got an alarm. Everyone's got an alarm with their phone. Do they need an exclusive thing that does like some motion sensing stuff? Probably not. This has to be a very big Nintendo fan, or maybe, someone wants. I guess they are releasing it before Christmas, so maybe like it's like a fancy Christmas gift for a kid or a big Nintendo fan. That's like a joke gift. $100 might be a little bit much for a joke gift, but Alarmo probably not going to be a big hit. But yeah, hey, I'm glad Nintendo's trying different stuff. They're doing fun and unique things. Just maybe a little bit off on the price here. Price point too much for a lot of people, and honestly, I wouldn't spend $100 for. I guess soccer moms will buy it. I guess so. When you want to impress your kid, $100 maybe isn't that much to drop. To me, it's a lot to drop on a child for a gift. But hey, people buy Switches for the kids, so why not? This isn't all for Nintendo news. I thought this was really cool. Someone pointed out that these Zelda Wandered posters are in a Japanese game store, which is very cool. If you see in the top right, you got Zelda and her iconic Wanted poster that looks hideous. Very, very cool little thing that they decided to put in as an advertisement. And Nintendo is also, exactly, inflation. Biden did this, man, with his inflation. The bastard. This is from IGN. Wesleyan Pool. Nintendo asking players to please not talk about Mystery Switch online playtest, which goes live. And we all know how that's going to go. Yeah, it's not going to go well. No one's going to keep quiet. But apparently Nintendo's cooking something up. Players will not be allowed to talk about it. So this is a participation page. They're like an online playtest here. It's a online Nintendo Switch playtest program, which involves a 2.2 gigabyte download and runs from October 24th to November 6th. But it's unknown what it's going to be about. Who knows? Very interesting. And the playtest has quickly filled up, so the signups went live on Thursday morning. Playtest quickly filled up, and now fans have to wait till October 25th to see what it's going to be about. Speculations already run rampant. Some suggested it might usher in the return of the Miiverse. Others have wondered whether it might have something to do with Nintendo Switch online retro games, such as the release of GameCube games on the service. Could we be getting online play for Super Smash Bros. Melee? I don't know. We could all speculate. Let our wildest dreams run free here. Crucially, Nintendo appears to want playtesters to play docked with a strong internet connection. This sparked speculation Nintendo is testing a cloud-based streaming services for Switch games to offer to the kind offered by Xbox, PlayStation, and Nvidia. That's an interesting idea. Or it could just, I think, be like more like a game type of thing, like party-based. Maybe it's an MMO, Pokemon MMO, maybe. We'll talk about that in a sec. So Switch, that's the other thing that happened. So this is going live. Of course, the second it goes live, people are going to leak it, even though they're asking them not to. They're going to do it. We'll know. We'll know what it happens. I'm excited to see what is Nintendo cooking up with this stuff. But there's been one thing we don't know is what's going to happen with this gigantic leak. Pokemon developer Game Freak reportedly hacked stolen data on unannounced games, as well as Nintendo Switch 2 codename leaked online. So this is an IGN as well by Wesleyan Pool. Pokemon developer Game Freak reportedly suffered a significant hack as a result of a leaked stolen data that includes codenames for 10th generation Pokemon games and even the Nintendo Switch 2. Reported by Nintendo, like the data leak include codename of the Nintendo Switch next-gen console, reportedly Ounce. Oh, that's an interesting name for a code name for it. The code name of the unannounced 10th generation Pokemon game, reportedly Gaia. Ooh, like a world. And the code name the announced Pokemon Legends ZA Iyaku. Iyakaku? I can't say that. It's probably Japanese. Neither Nintendo nor the Pokemon Company issued a statement on the leaks. IGN has asked both for a comment. Codenames of the two versions of the 10th generation Pokemon leaks, K and N, which might release Nintendo's intention to release it for both the Switch and its successor for a cross-generation title. According to Nintendo Life, Ounce as mentioned as the target platform. So they are making the game for Switch 2. A Pokemon game codenamed Synapse is also reportedly mentioned. This unannounced game is said to be a co-developer with another studio, with some claiming that it's some sort of Pokemon MMO. This might be interesting. You know, Palworld did very well with the sort of play together with your friends aspect of it. I think it was one of the big drivers of its success. So is Pokemon like jumping in and saying like, hey, we got to get in on this. Elsewhere, I found the source code downloading. X-Runner is downloading the source code here. Source code for DS titles, Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black 2, and White 2 are reportedly leaked, resulting in stolen, unused assets for Pokemon, and even game music emerging online. These Pokemon leaks rekindles memories of the infamous Nintendo Giga Leak of 2020, which revealed previous unknown canceled games, prototype source code, development tools, and internal communication as part of what was the largest leak of internal video game information ever released. Nintendo has yet to reveal its next-gen console, dubbed the Switch 2 by the community. Ahead of the announcements, last month, alleged prototype images leaked of the successors emerging online. Yet to comment on the images. What we do know is developers saying they plan to release their upcoming game on the Switch 2 when the Switch 2 does eventually come out. We don't know when. Nintendo expects to have plenty of stock available, which in turn hopefully combat scalping, which is a good thing. But who knows if they're actually going to do that. As for Pokemon, Z to A has a vague 2025 release window, with Nintendo saying it's coming out for Nintendo Switch systems. The phrasing starts speculation that it'd be released on the Switch 2, which, yeah, makes sense. Fans are set for one of the longest breaks, which is a good thing, thank God, between major Pokemon releases in franchise history, which no mainline entries releasing this year, nor any news of a remake. The Pokemon trading card game on mobile will be the biggest release of 2024, which the Pokemon trading card game, some like the super rare, like expanded card art stuff looks really cool. I'm not really interested in the game, but what they're doing with the digital card art is, I think, awesome, because it's something unique that you cannot get with a normal card, with like a normal paper card, where like you sort of like zoom in and you see the different world as part of it. It's very cool. But that is going to be released. Good. It's a good thing that they're slowing it down, because they got to rebuild some trust. Lately, they've just been such low quality with these Pokemon releases. I mean, they're still selling really well, but they got to do something, because, I mean, the graphics look like shit. Honestly, they're full of bugs. It's not a thing anymore. They've released so many of them. It's a new Pokemon release just isn't the event it once was. And people need to have like confidence, like, wow, this is special. This is unique. They're doing something new. It's just more of the same most of the time. Even like, I liked Legends Arceus, but the game looked like shit. It really did. The graphics were terrible. You're not feeling like you're part. They did like a good job of the gameplay being 3D. It felt like a real 3D Pokemon, but it just looked bad. They gotta put more into it. But let's move on from Nintendo. Let's talk about Steam. So Steam had to add this warning to customers that they are only buying a license for a game and they don't actually own it. This is ahead of a new law that forbids digital storefronts selling games from using terms like buy unless they tell player that they're only buying a license. So a purchase of a digital product grants a license from Steam. And I think most people realize this, right? And this is the other thing, but I had the journalists like this saying, Steam, along with nearly every digital platform, has operated using this model since they first launched. This is just the first time they had to tell you the TOS up front in large letters. They're acting like this is like a huge thing, when I mean it's just the reality of digital games. Like, I was impressed with the Arceus as well, as far as what they did with the gameplay. But if you look at the world itself, the environment, it is really bad looking. It does not look good. They did not do a great job of really making a impressive looking world that, you know, the Pokemon live in. Graphically, it's just crap, especially if you compare it to something like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. It does not look nearly as good as that. And they're both Nintendo games, and they share a lot. I'm sure they can share a lot of I don't know about assets, but, you know, talent and information with each other, since they are kind of on the same team. I don't understand why there's such a difference between the two. Like, as far as like open world, why they're so dramatically different. And yeah, there are places like GOG that's different because you get games without DRM. So they actually do kind of own it in a way, which is good. I mean, good for GOG. If they're become more popular because of this, that's a good thing. But I think it actually is a good thing overall that they're kind of like going up front and telling you. I like some of the laws that are coming down that you have to like, they're kind of like canceling the subscription model. Like, you can't just have it automatically, like when you buy like a yearly subscription, that it just automatically renews. Like, that has to be like an opt-in option. I've seen some of that stuff going around, and I think that's a good idea too. It's a lot of these places operate on the idea that you have to repurchase it, you know, that you just forget about it and it'll keep going. You're like, all right, that's fine. So there is some good consumer stuff coming down that that's good. Oh, this was a small thing, but apparently Final Fantasy has a trading card state coming up. I don't care about the card game at all, but I love this sort of illustration. We have Realm here from Final Fantasy VI. A very cute picture. I love the art style on this with the sort of desaturated colors with like just a sort of hint of color in like places, very muted. But it looks very nice. And of course, I had the summons here, but no, wait, I chose, dang it. I chose the wrong tab. The wrong one. Let me find, here we go. Here we go. This is the same guy, so. 30 years ago, baby. 30 years it's been since. Oh. Right? Final Fantasy VI came out 30 years ago. In North America as Final Fantasy III. The last 2D Final Fantasy game. And I think, in my opinion, the best. Of course, I just like any game from the SNES era. That was sort of like the prime of my boyhood youth here. But I love the sprite-based graphics. These things look so good. They're so like bizarre and weird compared to the other stuff. Like, this guy. Death Gaze. And you have the sort of like, I forget what this chip was called, FX or some type of graphics. They did a lot of like stuff with that. Back in the day, this was amazing. Now it looks like shit. That's sort of like 3D, 2D graphics. Like, just great characters and fun. I love look at this artwork. It's so cool looking. Weird creatures. And of course the soundtrack is amazing too. I love it. 30 years ago, I can't believe it. Oh damn, I'm running over time. I won't go too much over the Marina thing. This is the guy from Pop Team Mecha. He made this cute picture of Marina. Very nice looking. Very cute. But some deranged. This is Pop Team Epic. If you're unfamiliar with it, popular anime. Yeah, some people were upset. Some deranged trans white person, self-hating white person, was not happy. Why'd you lighten her skin color? The eye dropper tool exists. Shadow at wear a mask. Yes, this person is totally not mentally ill. And then, a lot of people, this started a firestorm with Japanese people getting upset. Otakus discovering that black edits of anime characters Zoomers made while harassing artists over light skin tones is going to radicalize an entire Orient against the annoying American teenagers. And of course, yeah, they just showing off these ugly ass black edits. Like, hey, let's give Tanjiro some ugly ass dreads. Let's give Nezuko some ugly ass dreads and a nose. Yeah, that looks great. Oh yeah, they got froze, yo. Very cool. Very cool. Your big lips and stuff. God, looks hideous. Yeah. Dark skinned, but yeah. So that unfortunately this guy apologized for it, which is the bad thing. I think a lot of artists just don't want, or they don't understand American culture the same way. So they're like, oh, I'm very sorry I offended Americans, when like half the Americans don't care. Actually, I think the majority of Americans don't really care about the fact that Marina isn't dark enough. Like, she's brown in this. Like, all right, she's brown. That's Marina. It's clearly Marina. But they're just going to apologize anyway because, yeah, it's, why not? Just say sorry. They're very polite. They're very polite people, so sad to see the apologize, but hopefully they got a lot of support from other people, and the more Japanese people hate these, race hustler types, the better. The better. Hopefully they resist this with all their might, because it is a cancer on art. The fact that people want to drill down this much into skin tone on a work of art is moronic, and it really just anti-art. But this is what a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I saw that translating wording that Legal Mindset posted. I'm glad people are putting that word out, that it's really just racist white haters that are doing this kind of stuff. But this is, again, it's anti-art. It's just the antithesis of art. When you can't experiment with color as you please, is ridiculous. Again, just a lot of this stuff is just super anti-art, anti-free expression. And it's sad to see, especially when it involves video game characters I like. And just ruining animes with disgusting. The black edits are just hideous, but they're free to do that. I don't really care if black people want to make black versions of characters. I mean, they look like shit, but I don't give a damn. Go ahead and do it. You're free to do it. Go ahead. I mean, I think I'm free to call them ugly, but hey, you can do this. You can take that artistic liberty. It's fine. Of course, you never extend that liberty to anybody else because you're racist, but hey, let's move on. Last thing is just, oh, this is so funny. This person named Kyla 2K7 made this video, and it is hilarious. It is so fucking funny. What?
I love you.
She's a lesbian now. Laura Croft's a lesbian. That's great.
There isn't more. She left me and never looked back.
Oh, she's got an ex-girlfriend.
I forgot when things get tough, you leave. What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, she's got me cat fighting.
Because of you. I didn't want you to leave. Why did you want to leave? You never even said goodbye.
This is so shit.
So you didn't leave because you thought I was replacing you.
Oh, she's crying now. Random lesbian scenes with a girl fangirling. I think she likes you. Yeah.
Love. If you only let one in.
Now that was a blast.
What
take care.
So Zip, the black character that was a sort of like womanizer, he's gay. Of course, yep. You got to make the black guy gay. Effeminate gay dude. That's that blue nail polish.
Out of control.
Tell her I say I love her hair.
Please, girl.
Please, girl. Oh.
I hope you took him out to dinner first.
You know about
He likes dicks.
to rich white folks.
Rich white folks. Constantly crying. Crying. There's so many. How did he get this much footage of her crying? Oh, you beat him, Jack. Good job.
I'm not strong enough.
Lara, it's okay to be sad.
It's okay to be sad.
Turns out I'm not the Croft you thought I was after all. I can't. I'm sorry. Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Oh, God.
I wish you could see this. Everyone thought my father was crazy. You are imbalanced, like your father.
Like your father.
You finished an adventure your father started.
And I still didn't have my father. Over there, my father and I argued.
She likes to hug. Hug my gay friends. Oh, they're in Mexico.
But you can't rebuild yourself by running away.
I think varies between cheesy, cliche, phoned in, and cringe.
And letting your
What?
friends help
Is that a man hugging him?
You know there's something stronger than pain.
It looks like a man. Something.
Cry real tears.
And vote for Tim Harrison
Sometimes I
Holt.
swear you have a death wish.
I don't.
I don't.
I know.
This writing's so bad.
We did it.
We did it.
You do matter to me, Jonah.
Wait. What's wrong with my banana pudding?
It tastes artificial.
This writing makes me want to kill myself.
I need your help.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And in the corner wallflowering.
I want to make the boa thing. That's. They really didn't want to. I guess they really didn't want her to use guns. Are guns too violent? I'm just squeamish about a dead body. Well, let's see.
While Lara certainly is in tune.
Oh, this is awful.
She's also clearly not pilfering other cultures' treasures. How did you want to maintain that balance between the classic premise?
Oh, God, this is just this lame-ass shit. Again, anti-white shit. Like, oh, she's not stealing other cultures' treasures. That's some Muslim 30 IQ moron is going to destroy because he's like some sort of extremist.
It's definitely tricky because I never wanted to lose the tomb rating. That's what makes her awesome. But it also makes me...
like, none of these cultures want to preserve their own culture. This is only, like, white people that want to do it. But, oh, God forbid we take their history and preserve it for them.
comfortable to just tomb raid. It also became important that the relics...
As Africans just continually steal copper from their own infrastructure, then sell it, or, you know, kill every single rhino in the savannah and sell it to China. Because China loves shark fin soup and rhino horn, some sort of a what's the word for it? What's the word for Viagra? I can't. What are they? Whatever, like enhancers. They need that. They need to help it with their erections. So let's just kill all the megafauna, all of our culture. And to make a few dollars.
And she helps plenty of them are going to gift her things.
Oh, they're just going to give her stuff without stealing them. You know, they're just going to give it to her. Oh, here, we're so happy for you. helping you
For
out.
all the relationships that
That's
she makes
so
around the world
dumb.
as she fills her office and space with these items.
Where'd you steal the armor from?
I didn't. It was a gift.
It's a gift.
Very nice fisherwoman.
All of her father's
She
artifacts.
donated
Croft is probably rolling in his grave.
donated all the artifacts. Uncovered donating them to show her white guilt. Ooh, I hate being girly. Guzzling beer, yeah, God. This looks so bad. This dress with Converse shoes.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm just being
She can't be a proper woman.
obviously fishing village, but
And hopefully we do something.
Again, then, just this is the person behind it. You should have known this is the person behind this. Just like the woman before, talk about Master Chief. She's not a.
A set of armor
He's
with
a
a big
human
weapon.
being. Here we go, ruining Tomb Raider. Some fat chick.
Both new and also something that we all remember loving.
All remember what is the love about this? What is there to love about this Lara Croft with no tits? Again, like self-insert myself into it. Awkward, dumb Lara. Instead of like an idealized badass. Nah, she's quirky. She's awkward. She cries all the time. She's just like me. She's just like me. Look at I'm awkward and quirky and ugly as fuck. And just like me. Yeah, that's wonderful. This is why are video games bad? Why are video game adaptions bad? Oh, this is who we hire as a director. Some DEI hire to ruin it that doesn't understand. I like how she has artwork in the background that looks like 10 times better than anything she'll ever make. And I mean, look, here we go. This is again learning the law, kind of showing off the transformation. Amazing. You got Lara in the top left, super sexy, giant jugs, form fitting like this femme fatale, Arabian Nights, super sexy. And then it survived. Then, again, you just see the desexing of Lara Croft here. No boobs, covered up. And then you got this awkward, retarded Lara. A just dumb, dumpy, no figure whatsoever. No accent on the hips, no cleavage. Look at this picture. God damn. This is Lara Croft. This is the peak Lara right here. Amazing. And then, of course, you got like imbeciles like this. Not going to lie, man. If she turned into some fat, disabled, blue-haired feminist, I would understand it. But literally all that changed was the size of her tits. Yeah, that's all that changed. This is how you know this guy's a brainiac. Here. All you got, you're gooners. You need tits and ass and everything. If you're so addicted, just go watch porn. Wow, what a creative take. This guy is smart. Like, I don't care about being clowned. It's obvious you are porn addicts and you can't function without having tits and ass and everything you consume. Genuinely hope that you break free of your addiction. I was there once. Were you? Nah, I think you were always retarded, though. That's the thing. Okay, he's getting ratioed to hell and back. What a moron. Anyone that uses, like, Gooner, unironically, is just immediately in it. Or, like, of course, porn-brained, all that shit. But anyway, that's it for the show. What a so sad to see that, again, a character beloved by men, completely ruined by women. Great job. Thank you, Tasha Howe. Good job on that. But guys, if you like the video, please subscribe if you haven't. And we're going to see you next week. I'll be redirecting to Rule of Zero. It'll be coming up in about 30 minutes. Look forward to seeing you there. Goodbye.